Back at you with another one. Another one. Another one. Yeah. So what's going down? We out here. Out in these streets. Coming at you from the ATL. You know? Nah. Nah, I'm not in Atlanta no more. I'm in North Kakalaka. North Carolina. Born and raised up. Take your shirt off. Waving in the air like a helicopter. I'm like Petey Pablo, yo. I'm in North Carolina. You know? Yeah, but it's another Sunday afternoon, you know, in this wild, beautiful, crazy world that we live in, you know. And smash the like button, whether you're live or seeing the recording, you know. I mean, I get these weird messages sometimes when I be online. So you know the funny thing is, when I was growing up, I had a you know, my dad used to tell me a lot of stuff when I was growing up. But some of the best conversations I had with my dad and my mom too were about what happens when when you get older. What happened when they got older, as far as people go. Cause and when you're young, you don't really you listen, but you don't really listen. You know what I'm saying? But even if you listen, you don't really understand where they're coming from most times because you're just too young. You don't have enough life experience. You know, that's just how it goes. But as I've gotten older, I realized that most people oh, you listen? Well, that's good you listen. So. I realize that most people, as I get older, I realize most people don't get better as they get older. You know how people say, the older you get, the wiser you get? Most of the time, that shit ain't true, man. No. Most of the time, that shit ain't true, man. Most of the time, the older they get, the worse they tend to get. Or the same. Most of the time. Like, I give you an example. You might have graduated 5-10 years ago at your high school or your college, wherever you're from. And 10-20 years might go by. You go back home on the holidays, visit your parents, your grandparents, if they still alive. And you go home and see your same homeboys and homegirls. They're not changing, bro. 10, 20 years, 30 years might have went by. Most of them are still the same. They might not look the same. They might not look the same, but they haven't gotten better, bro. Most of them. If they weren't shit back then, they ain't shit today. 20, 30 years later. That's the thing that I've learned over the years. Nobody really tells you that when you're young. That most people ain't really about shit. They're not really about a damn thing. They ain't really about shit. And the older they get, it's gonna come out. And people ain't gonna give a fuck no more. They don't care no more when they get older. When they get older, it's like, this is how I am. Fuck it. Take it or leave it. They ain't trying to fake no more, because they already done all that for so long, and they made so many bad decisions, and it didn't work. So by the time they hit 40s, 50s, 60s, they don't give a fuck. They just put it out there. Whether you like it or not, it don't even matter. It don't matter if you like it or not, because they done made so many horrible mistakes before they met you. They don't even care no more. They're just a damn moron at 40, 50, 60 years old. They are morons. A lot of them batshit crazy. You know, it's like, what the hell is... I'll be like, what the fuck they talking about? I don't even understand sometimes. I'm like, what? I'm lost. I'm like, what? A lot of them popping pills. A lot of them getting high. You know, it's going to be a lot of that. Wait till you... If you live long enough to get older, like me, you're going to run into a lot of that. A lot of them popping pills. A lot of them not in their right mind. You know, it's like, yo, what the heck is going on out here with some people, man? A lot of them got fat over the years, got health problems. You know, I'm like, man. I mean, bro. I mean, some of the people that I thought I would have been friends with for a long time, man, we're not even friends no more, man. We don't even talk no more. You know what I'm saying? We don't even talk no more, man. I'm like, damn. And then check another thing that happens as you get older. Some people go lame. Some people go lame. Some people, they become haters. I'm like, yo, I didn't see that shit coming. You know, I'm like, what the fuck going on, man? You know, what? I mean, it'll come off left field too, bro. You be like, yo, I didn't expect you to do something like that. You of all people. Damn. You said, hi, Bill Cosby. Oh, you trying to be funny? Genius. You trying to be funny, genius. Okay. Yeah, man. Well, look. And then, as you get older, a lot of people have made such bad decisions, and all of a sudden they got all these new standards of living for you. But meanwhile, the guys that she met before you, there wasn't no standards for them. But all of a sudden, it's a long list of shit for your ass. And see, you have to be able to pick up on that shit. You have to be able to pick up on that. Because if you stay around, and this comes with experience, by the way. If you met a bunch of people like I have over the years, you be like, man, this broad ain't used to that type of shit. Get out of here. You ain't got it like that. You just selling wolf tickets. You got all this damn standards. Put your high ass standards on me. Look at you. You around here 40 pounds overweight, talking about you want a guy with a six pack. Get out of here and make six figures. And you got 2 kids. Get out of here. You ain't rolling like that. Come on, man. You already got 2 kids. Irresponsible already. 2 kids shows that you're irresponsible. I'm sorry. 1 kid, okay, you made a mistake. Okay. 2, come on. You're irresponsible now. Come on, let's call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? And you out here acting brand new like you some shot caller. Come on, man. But see, you have to be able to call. You have to be able to see this. This comes with experience. You're not gonna learn this in a book or anywhere. You just have to live life a little bit to understand that. Look, this broad ain't got it like that. The shit she talking, she ain't never had it. She just want it. She thinks she would like it, but she ain't never had it like that. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is. That's when you dismiss her for wasting your time. Exactly. You know, he said wolf tickets. Yeah, she's selling wolf tickets. You know, she got talking all brand new like she's a high roller. Man, cut it, knock it off. You ain't rolling like that. You ain't rolling like that. Come on. You stay in backwoods of Georgia somewhere talking about you want a dude with 6 figures and you got 2 kids and 2 baby daddies. Man, cut it out. Backwoods country, come on, man. Ain't no money out there in that backwoods of Georgia. Stop it. You be in them little small hicknick towns. You be happy if you make 40,000 a year. Stop the nonsense. Ain't no money in these little old hicknick hillbilly towns in the backwoods of Georgia. Cut it out. This is the nonsense that you hear online a lot. You know, I'm like, I done travel all over America. East Coast, West Coast, North and South. Look, in that Midwest, it ain't nothing out there. It ain't nothing out there. If you ain't in a major city in the Midwest, it ain't nothing out there, bro. It's cold and dirty. It ain't nothing out there. People say, oh, it's sightseeing. You sightseeing, all right. Shit. You sightseeing, all right. Yeah, okay, if you want to call it that. You know, stop it. All the nonsense people be talking about online, man. They be selling wolf tickets, and they be thinking that a lot of people, like everybody don't know. Man, please. Your little backwoods country town you came from. And then these the same people that'll move to a big city, like Atlanta, they'll move to Atlanta, New York City, Miami, Charlotte, Raleigh. Where else they might move to? Philly, Boston. They'll move to the big cities acting like brand new. I'm like, that's why I always ask them where they from. I ask where they from because that's going to tell me a lot. You know, she said, I'm from Florida. What part of Florida? I'm from some town you ain't never heard of. And then check this out. If you go home with her one weekend, you be like, man, this old little ass town, it ain't shit going on here. It ain't nothing going on in this town. Got one red light They don't even have a Walmart in your town. Get out of here. They don't even got a Walmart in your little ass town. And you talking about you want a guy that makes 6 figures. Get out of here. You selling wolf tickets. You know? See, a lot of the young guys, they don't know no better. So that shit work on them. They'll listen to that bullshit that a lot of these foreign women online be talking, you know. And see, a lot of these foreign women, where they came from slums. They came from slums, man. You got women that online, where they from or where they came from, they don't even have running water, man. They don't even have running water. To go to the restroom, you got to go to the outhouse, some type of shit. And she over here talking about, oh, I came over here and I had $2 in my pocket, and I had the bootstrap, and you know, I came from something from nothing. I came from the dirt. Get your ass out of here. That bullshit. You lying. You ain't came over here no bootstrap. I know how you got the money. Get out of here. There's a bunch of lies being told, man, out here today. But if you don't know no better, you get caught up in that madness. America is a welfare country, man. Them people ain't coming over here empty-handed. When they get here, the money's there. They got connections. They know where to go when they get here. That shit don't happen like that. No. And that's the lie that they want to sell us. They'll get all the handouts. And when it's my turn, they say, oh, you got a bootstrap. Come on, man. Don't play with me like that. No, I've been around. No, you can't play me like that. Nuh-uh. No. See, I know better. You know, I know better. These are some of the things that my dad and my parents taught me early, at an early age. At an early age. You know? But if you don't know, hell, ain't nobody gonna tell you. You just be walking around acting like feeling bad about yourself. Because you be like, man, how the hell they came over here? And you be like, man, they're doing better than me. No, they're not. They're not doing better than you. That's just what you think. That's what you think. You know? They're not. Not as a group, anyway. You know, it's just a game that's being played. They get all the benefits, and I get nothing. I gotta figure it out. I gotta apply for everything. They don't have to apply for anything when they get here. Just follow the yellow brick road. You know what I'm saying? Walking into America to them is like winning the price is right. Of course. You know. And see, and where they came from, hell, if they got running water and a bathroom and a job, that's a great accomplishment for a lot of people. You know, not for us. We been had running water. We had that shit 100 years. I don't know. Over 100 years ago, 200 years ago, we had that shit. That ain't nothing to us. Shit. You know? I mean, come on, man. But, you know, it's like, as you get older, you be like, you know, a lot of people just ain't shit, man. They're just not about shit. They're not really about nothing. Really, it's just like that's just what it is. You know, and nobody's gonna tell you that shit. You know, that's something you have to experience. Some of this shit, man. That's something you have to experience, man. And let me tell you something that my dad told me. Um, my dad told me that what happened is he used to my dad used to always carry me. We used to drive a lot on the weekends. He used to always take me around, wherever he went, around town or sometimes even out of town. And he used to always watch how people would look at me. Cause we was always suited and booted now when me and my dad used to step out. For the most part, we were suited and booted. We were dressed, right? So I think I was about 15 when he said, cause you gotta realize where I'm from, it was blacks, whites, handful of Koreans. There wasn't no Mexicans when I grew up. Wasn't no Mexicans. If there was, I didn't see them. There wasn't no Spanish-speaking people at all. No. Handful of Koreans, Vietnamese. Wasn't no Chinese. Right? But I grew up around black people. 99%. Right? So what happened is he would pay attention how the young girls would look at me, right? And he told me one day, he's like, hey, I got something to tell you. And he was like, when it comes to you, you're besides black women, he said, besides the black girls, you're every woman's kryptonite. I was like, what? He said, yeah, you're every woman's kryptonite. He said, you ever seen Superman? I said, yeah. He said, watch the movie, watch it again. So I kind of brushed it off. I'm like, because I didn't understand where he was coming from. I hope you might not understand either, but you will in a minute. So it's like this. He said, regardless of what, the exception, take black women out of it. Take black women out of the equation. He said, regardless of what the woman says about you, me, when a real man step in her presence, at some point, nature will take over naturally, and she will naturally behave like a woman in the presence of a real man. That's what he told me. In a nutshell. That's what he told me in a nutshell. So he said, take what women say with a grain of salt. Regardless of what they say over the telephone, well, there wasn't no text or no email back then, around this time. There wasn't no cell phone. He said, regardless of what they say over the telephone, when you see her in person, that's when you're going to know if she's for real or not. Whether it's a white woman, Korean woman, Latin woman, whatever type of woman she is. But don't get caught up into what she says over the telephone. And this rule still applies today. Don't get caught up with what a woman says through email, text, over the telephone, or whatever. When you see her in person, that's when you know what's real. And you got to understand, at the time I was young. I didn't really understand. I understood what he was saying, but only to a certain extent. Now, as I got older, I realized that there's a lot of women that will say one thing through online or text or email or over the phone, right? But if I would say, hey, meet me at such and such place, or I'm going to pull up on you, right? When I would see them in person, they would change up. They wouldn't say what they said previously before I got there, or previously before based on the conversation we had before I pulled up on them. That's what my dad told me when I was young, and nobody really talks about that. I never had nobody else tell me that. Only my dad told me that. And only my dad told me that. Nobody else told me that. I never had no guy told me that. I never had my buddy told me that. No, only my dad told me that. My dad told me, don't get caught up in all the shit over the telephone. When she's sitting down in front of you, this is the real. This is the realest is that it's gonna get right here. If she can say what she said to you over the phone in your face, okay. Now we're talking. That's real. That's as real as it's gonna get. Because see, it's one thing to say something over the telephone, through text, email, or whatever, but it's a whole nother thing to say that into someone's face. You know? That's how it is, man. It's a whole different ball game. See, it takes courage. It takes balls to say what you want into someone's face. And based on my experience, a lot of people can't really they don't have the courage like you think. They don't have the courage like you think. That's why I'm like, that's why to a certain extent, the internet is not real. The internet is not real. Because what happens on the internet is one thing, based on my experience. But when I see somebody in person, it's a whole different thing. It could be an act online. It could be an act. I met some people offline. They were quiet as a church mouse. They didn't say shit. They were scared. You know? It's just, that's why I say the internet, to a certain extent, is not real. It's not real. It's not. Yeah, smash the like button. The internet is not real. It's not real life. It's a place where it's an artificial, made-up environment. But when it comes to real life, that's a whole different thing. When it comes to real life, you have to have intelligence, confidence, you have to be able to adapt, and you have to be able to sustain and manage yourself over a long period of time in some treacherous waters. That's real. That's how it is in real life. You don't have to do all that on the internet. Ain't nobody gonna get you on the internet. Ain't nobody gonna attack you, physically attack you on the internet. They can't do nothing to you. It's a damn screen with a camera. See, Devin the Dude. Devin the Dude is a rapper. I like Devin the Dude. I like his music. You a singer? Nope, I'm not a singer. Oh yeah, my parents taught me the game. They told me the game when I was growing up. A lot of stuff they were saying I didn't really understand at the time. But as I got older, you know, yeah. Passport salvation. Oh, what's up, man? I'm still around, man. I'm still around. What do you do? What I think about Islam? I don't think anything about Islam. Really? Oh, P.S. and by the way, I got a new book out. I saved the best for last. This is the last book I'm gonna write. That just came out last week. Yep. The name of my new book is Love Can't Wait. I saved the best for last. You know, it's on Amazon.com. Yep. What do you know about Islam? I don't know much about it, bro. I don't know much about it. I'm not a Muslim. I don't know anyone that's some, yeah, I know some people that, yeah, I know some people, but I don't know much about it. I hear a lot of negative things about it. You know, but I don't know enough about it to be able to talk about it in great details. So that's why I never talk about it. I know a little bit about a lot of religions. I'll say it like that. And a lot of stuff that I hear about, a lot of it's some weirdo shit that I wouldn't want to be a part of. You know, but that's just me. You know, that's just me. Yeah, that's just me, man. Yeah, but I'm not a religious person. Read the Quran? I have read the Quran. Yeah, I read the Quran once, twice. You know, but the Quran don't have anything to do with people though. That's the thing. People don't follow the book. People don't follow the damn book, man. That's the problem. Shit, they're doing their own thing. That's the problem. People say, well, read the Bible. They're not reading. They're not following the Bible either. So, you know, the Quran is one thing, but the people that's reading it is doing something else. So that's how that is. That's how that usually goes most of the time. You know, it's the people that give certain religions a bad rap. You know, but it is what it is. But I'm not a religious person. You know, I'm not. What do you think about it? I don't know nothing. There are millions everywhere in this earth. Memorize it fully. Yeah, of course. You can memorize anything if you read it enough times. But, you know, that's how people, people live their life the way they want to live life. So, whether it's based on a book, like the Quran or the Bible or whatever, people take what they want to take out of it and then do what they want to do. It seems like that's how it's been going since I've been living anyway. But I don't, like I said, I'm not a religious person. I don't really pay attention to religion like that. So I'm not really concerned about it, to be honest. I'm more of a game spitter. That's how I am. I believe in living my life based on certain principles and morals and values. So I don't necessarily need the Quran or the Bible for that. That's just me though. That's just me. You might be different. Maybe you need a book. I don't need a book. Ain't a book that memorized by just many people. Shit, I don't know. I don't keep, like I said, I don't keep up with the number of books that's been sold and memorized. So I don't know. You tell me. Maybe it's the Quran. I don't know. I don't know. But if it is the Quran, why does that make a difference to you? If that's the case, how does that help people get better in life or just in general? I mean, what difference does it make? That's the question I'm asking. If that's the case, Yeah, what difference does it make? I mean, you can memorize just because you know how to memorize something. I mean, why is that a good thing? How come? I mean, I think it's probably better to live that life instead of just trying to memorize something over and over again. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But again, like I said, I don't live vicariously through any religion or any type of book like the Quran or the Bible. I don't need that shit. I don't need it. I have my own. The way I was raised, I like how I was raised by my parents. I took the things from the best qualities from my parents, and that's how I live. Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, and see, here's the deal. How my parents lived when they were growing up, I can't do all that today. We're in a completely different environment today. Yeah, I believe in God. But I can't live like my parents did. I can't do it. It ain't gonna work. You have to evolve with the times. You have to evolve with the times. One good thing is I don't live in a big city. I live outside the city, so I don't have to put up with all that nonsense. Living in a big city is a totally different environment versus being in a small town. So you have to adapt. That's what life is about. It's really about having the best relationships you can have humanly possible, and living life with morals, principles, values that align with, hopefully, with who you are as a person, and hopefully with the people around you. So that's how I live. Why don't you read the scripture? I read the scripture when I was a kid. I read all that. Look, I read all that stuff when I was a teenager, man. You late to the party. I grew up in the church. I read the Bible and the Quran at the same time when I was a teenager. So I think I read the Bible cover to cover, the Old Testament and the New Testament. And I read the Quran after that, after the Bible. At least half of it, I would say. So yeah, I already know what time it is when it comes to the Bible and the Quran. So yeah, I read that shit a long time ago. When I was much younger. I was a teenager when I first read the Quran, and I read it again when I was in the 20s. So yeah, all that's cool, but the Quran ain't gonna help me. Ain't gonna really help me today. It ain't. Not out here. No. The game is cold out here today. Ain't nobody following the Quran out here. I'm not saying people don't exist, but I don't see a lot of people following the Quran that claim they're Muslim or Arabs. And some, but I'm saying I don't see a lot of them that's. If I look at based on the Quran, this guy, he ain't doing none of that shit. He's doing what he want to do. If I look at the Bible, and he say he's a Christian, or she says she's a Christian, well, based on how they living, they ain't following the Bible. They doing what they want to do. So, and I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying, hey, you see, I'm the type of person, what you give off is what you get back. You give off that's what you get back now. So that's how that is, cause and effect. It's cause and effect. There ain't too many people following the Quran out here. I don't know where you live at. Where you live at? And you must live in a small town. Yeah, you live in a small town, or it might be a lot of people following the Quran then. But if you live in New York City, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, no. Especially if you're in a city with a bunch of foreigners at, ain't too many people following the Quran in New York City, brother. Or you might be a white man, I don't know. I shouldn't call you a brother. That's just how I talk. I just came from, well, that's in another country. Shit, I don't know nothing about that shit, that place. I don't know anything about that place. So, I don't know. That's great. That's great if they, if you got, 300,000 people. That's good for them. Hopefully, that changes their life in some type of way for the better. That's where the Quran was revealed. That's fantastic. Hopefully that works for them, But I'm saying I don't need the Quran to change my life. My life changed years ago. And the Quran didn't have anything to do with it. The Bible didn't have anything to do with it. What changed my life was based on my core beliefs and how I was raised. That's what changed my life. That's what helped change my life. The Bible ain't had nothing to do with it. And see, what I did, this is what I did. I took my core beliefs and I applied it to my life based on how I was raised, and I started writing my own books about it. That's what I did. Yeah, so I write about stuff that can be used in everyday life today. Whether you're on the internet, whether you're walking down the street, whether you're traveling, whether you're at the store shopping. I write about stuff like that. Yeah. I don't write about stuff, a man in the sky, all the silly shit, man. Come on, man. Young people are kind of tired of bullshit, So that's why there's a disconnect with the old and young people today. And that's another thing that my dad told me. He said, when you get older, you're going to realize that a lot of old people ain't shit today. I want to send you a video. Nah, you don't need to send me no video. And tonight is the night I was real. No, you don't need to send me no video. A lot of old people today ain't shit. And when I say old people, I'm talking like from the age of, let's see, 60, no, 50, 58 to say 70. That, I'm going to say 50, 57 to 70 range. That group of old people right there, they ain't really worth a damn. They're not worth a damn. And my dad told me, he kind of warned me about that. Because he saw the writing on the wall before he passed away. And he said that, he said you're going to have to make some hard decisions in the near future. And he said a lot of it based on things that didn't get done when he was growing up. So he said, hey, the things that you don't like, you can change it. Because you're a young man, you still growing, you still learning. He said, you got a chance to do something big. Bigger and better than we did. So yeah, that's what my parents used to tell. They used to tell me a lot of stories. But oh shit, man. Yeah, they used to tell me a lot of stories growing up, man. But but again, man, hey, my new book, Love Can't Wait, man. Go get it on Amazon.com. I saved the best for last, man. It's going to go down as a classic. It's going to go down as a classic. I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to go down as a classic. It's the best shit I ever wrote. And I'm like, nah, it's the best. It's the best shit I ever wrote, man. And I'm just interested to see what people are going to say after they're done reading it. Because it's over 500 pages. It's over 500 pages, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'll put the link in here after I get off here. I didn't have time to do that before. But hey, hopefully you got something out of this conversation. Like, Share this episode. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.